Do-hyuk, the Unbreakable, a title earned in blood and fire, a testament to his indomitable will. He stood, a monolith of power, radiating an aura of danger that sent chills down the spines of even the bravest. Across from him, shrouded in darkness, stood Jiwan, once a loyal attack dog, now a shadow of his former self, his face etched with a mixture of fear and defiance. The air crackled with tension. Their history, a tangled web of loyalty and betrayal, hung heavy between them. Jiwan, his eyes darting between Do-hyuk and the ground, seemed to physically shrink under the weight of Do-hyuk's presence. He had come expecting a fight, prepared to die by the hand he once served. What he wasn't prepared for was Do-hyuk's silence. It was more terrifying than any roar of anger, any display of overwhelming force. This silence spoke of a cold, calculating mind assessing the situation, judging his worth. It was the silence of a predator sizing up its prey.
I submit.
Jiwan choked out, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. His pride, his defiance, crumbled under Do-hyuk's unwavering gaze. The man who had once moved like a tempest, wreaking havoc on his enemies, now struggled to hold Do-hyuk's eyes. It was an unexpected turn of events. Do-hyuk had anticipated a fight, a final desperate stand from a cornered animal. This submission, this broken acceptance of defeat, was unsettling. It hinted at a deeper game, a hidden motive behind Jiwan's sudden change of heart.
Submit? And what, pray tell, does submission entail from a dog who has bitten the hand that fed him?
Jiwan flinched at the word dog, his humiliation evident. His hands, once lightning fast and deadly, clenched into fists. He had expected anger, even violence. What he heard in Do-hyuk's voice was worse, disappointment. It was the sound of a master who discovers his most trusted hound had turned feral.
The tyrant, he made me.
Jiwan whispered, his voice shaking. He recounted his story, a tale of manipulation and coercion. He spoke of a childhood steeped in violence, of being molded into a weapon, his loyalty bought and paid for with blood and fear. Do-hyuk listened, his expression unreadable. He knew the tyrant's methods, the cruelty he employed to break and mold his followers. He had seen it firsthand, felt the sting of the whip, the burn of betrayal. But Jiwan's story, it struck a chord within him. It was a reminder of the darkness that lurked within their world, the darkness that threatened to consume them all.
He promised me power, said I would become like him, feared and respected, but it was all a lie. He never intended for me to be anything more than a tool, a weapon to be discarded when he was done.
Do-hyuk's silence stretched, a tangible pressure in the air. Jiwan, unable to bear it any longer, launched himself at Do-hyuk, a desperate cry escaping his lips. It was a move born of fear and frustration, a last-ditch effort to break free from the suffocating tension. The clash was instantaneous, a whirlwind of fists and feet. Jiwan, despite his desperation, fought with the skill and ferocity of a seasoned warrior. But against Do-hyuk, it was like a raging storm crashing against an unyielding mountain. Each blow, each desperate strike, was effortlessly deflected, countered with terrifying precision. Do-hyuk moved like a force of nature, his movements fluid yet powerful. He wasn't just fighting, he was teaching, demonstrating the gulf that separated them. Every block, every counter was a lesson, a brutal reminder of Do-hyuk's absolute dominance. The fight, if it could be called that, ended as quickly as it began. Do-hyuk, with a swift maneuver, disarmed Jiwan, sending the man sprawling on the ground. He stood over him, his shadow falling over Jiwan like a shroud. Jiwan lay there, defeated, his chest heaving. He had expected death, had yearned for it as a release from the torment of his past, his betrayal. But death didn't come. Instead, he found himself staring up at Do-hyuk, into those eyes that seemed to see right through him, into the very depths of his soul.
Why not end it?
Do-hyuk looked down at him, his expression unreadable.
Because I decide who lives and who dies, and you are not yet worthy of death.
He pressed his foot down on Jiwan's chest, emphasizing his words. In that moment of utter defeat, something shifted within Jiwan. The fear, the desperation, it all melted away, replaced by a strange sense of clarity. He saw the truth in Do-hyuk's words, the raw power that emanated from him. This wasn't just physical strength. It was the strength of will, of unwavering conviction.
What do you want from me?
Loyalty, not out of fear but out of respect. Prove to me that you are more than the tyrant's dog, that you are capable of choosing your own path.
Do-hyuk removed his foot from Ji-won's chest, offering him a hand up. The gesture, so simple yet so profound, spoke volumes. It was a chance at redemption, an opportunity to break free from the chains of his past and forge a new destiny. Ji-won stared at Do-hyuk's hand, his mind awhirl. Could he do it? Could he truly break free from the tyrant's control, from the life he had always known? The uncertainty was terrifying, yet exhilarating. He looked up at Do-hyuk, at the man who had defeated him, humiliated him, and yet offered him a chance at something more. In that instant, he made his choice. With a deep breath, Ji-won reached out and clasped Do-hyuk's hand. The touch sent a jolt through him, a surge of raw energy that spoke of the power that resided within the Unbreakable. He was stepping into the unknown, embarking on a path fraught with danger and uncertainty. But for the first time in a long time, Ji-won felt a flicker of hope. He was no longer a puppet dancing on the tyrant's strings. He was his own man, bound to Do-hyuk by choice, not by coercion. The path ahead would be fraught with peril, but he would walk it with his head held high, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.